Sweet, I'm live in 3 places. 4. Okay. Yeah, wait, let me edit this though. That's did it update?
No, not yet.
See, it did on my end. But it What?
Did you stop sharing and restart? I don't know.
Oops. Does my screen go black?
Yeah.
It's alright, that's to be expected. Boom. Boom. Got it.
Hey, there it is.
Got it. Now there's no spelling hers on the first slide.
Yeah. You're good.
Here's the thing, if no one joins
Mm-hmm.
in about 15 minutes, I practice this enough that I don't feel like I need to go through the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Can you see me? Oh,
Yes,
you really can.
I can only see you.
Okay. Hello.
I might literally just ask some friends to do it to tell so that they can give me feedback. Hey, do you want to watch my webinar? I might start going through it. If I get to the end of the cashew farm and no one shows up, then I won't keep going. But then people can jump in late. How does that sound?
Okay. However you want to do it.
I'm wondering if it'd be worth, on Facebook you can promote events. I wonder if it'd be worth doing it. It worked well for networking. I spent like $10 and like 5 more people showed up. It's $2 a person. If you think of lifetime value though, that a potential customer would have, gotta try with like $20. I do 10 for Wednesday and 10 for Saturday and see if one is more busy than the other. I probably just do one of them. I do an in-person thing.
Talk about it when you're not live.
I might do an in-person thing because I feel like that might get more people. There's a lot of people who said they were interested, but If it were,
Saturdays are kind of hard.
yeah, if
I
it were
like-
me, I'd forget right away and be like, oh, frick, there was a thing on Saturday.
Yeah.
So-
Saturdays are harder.
I might do Wednesday night and reach out to the people and say, we're doing another one. Said, sorry we missed you.
Yeah.
On Facebook, it said 5 interested. Don't change anything. Boom. Yeah, it's close enough. I'm gonna start it
I will chime in.
for the total of 1 viewer. That's probably a bot on Twitch.
Hello.
Hello, bot.
Maybe they're not a bot.
They
Just call them bot.
they are. They commented and said, "Would you like me to promote your account?" With
Oh.
bad English.
Oh.
So even if it is just a bot, this presentation is for educational purposes only. You shouldn't take it for financial advice. This is based on our opinions and experiences. It's purely educational. Any losses or damages based on information from here are solely your responsibility. Now that you can't sue me,
I don't think you need to. Honestly, it's not.
it's financial advice. You don't want someone to be like, I tried this accounting program and it flopped because of what you said.
We don't have anything like that on here.
They can take any financial advice and make a bad choice and then sue someone. It's
All right,
a litigious
don't
society.
sue us 'cause of your poor errors.
This way that it's just safe, so that if someone does ever in the future try anything, we can say we put this in front of every single presentation and it's recorded on 5 platforms. Well, you're in the right place if accounting is difficult for you, or if it takes up all your free time trying to run your business, or if you live in fear of being audited, anything like that. We're going to cover that. We're going to make you feel better. Turn on chat or microphones and be ready to share. Feedback is appreciated. You don't have to leave your mic on if you have background noise, but be ready to turn it off, you know. If you have any questions as we go, just type them in the chat. I might not answer them unless it seems like everyone has the same question, but we're going to have a Q&A at the end. So just, if you need to remember your question, feel free to put it in while we're presenting, but we'll come back to it at the end. The more you engage, the better you're going to remember this. So that's the main reason I ask you to turn off your mics and chat, because when you take the physical action, it's going to ingrain in your brain better. I'd use this thing, make a commotion, because that's just how it works better on here. On my computer, I have like 5 windows open. So I say make a commotion, and then I see movement happen of chats and people nodding their heads and stuff. So that just works best. So I'm going to say make a commotion, and I just want to see stuff in my peripheral. So let me get the right 5 windows open, and we're going to try this. Where am I? That's not it. That's not it. No. Aha. Shrink that. Put that there. Okay. I can now see most of the commotions that can possibly happen. So let's try it. 2, 3, make a commotion. Oh, raised hand. Awesome. Oh, another message from a bot. Great. Sweet. Looks good. It's working.
Oh, how do I take it off though?
It'll go away in a minute.
Oh. Okay.
Now that you're primed and ready to go, let's introduce ourselves. Jenna, you have your own introduction in here, but do you want to introduce yourself anyways, and I'm going to mute myself so that you can talk. Ready, go.
Okay. Hi. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Here, let me.
You just stay on it. I'll talk loud.
It's directional now. I can hear you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jenna Peterson. I'm an accountant. I love all things numbers. Married to Wyatt. Wanted to start our own accounting business to help others kind of get a better handle on their finances for their business. And then I don't know. That's me. I love talking business and numbers. That's it.
Awesome. Oh, it's saying that I'm too loud. Okay. Make sure this is updating there. So sorry. Yeah. Name, business, city.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. It's good enough. I'm going to tell you, anyone who happens to join, you're going to get a lot of value from this. Okay. You found the secret golden stream of financial advice. Okay. There is an 82% chance that if you start a business, it fails because of this one thing. This is out of 100 businesses that fail, 82 of them fail because of this, right? We want to make sure that you're in the green so that, if you fail, it's not because of this. Just kidding. We want to mitigate the risk for you. So we're going to put you in the 18% by the end of this presentation, that little green pie slice right there. I'm going to give you practical tools for impressing people with your knowledge, business colleagues, people in your future networking. More importantly, if you ever invest, or the way I like to think about it, if you look at a business and reverse engineer it, the best people to talk to are like merger and acquisitions, or people who talk about selling the business or who value it, because they know what it takes to make a business valuable for an investor. They've seen it 100 times. This is exactly like that. You're going to be able to see what makes a business valuable. You can see how you would invest in a business and how you should make your business the most investable business possible, which should be people's goal. I won't impose that on you, but if it is, then there you go. I'm going to give you the freedom of multiple choices of how to proceed to stay in that little green triangle that I talked about. I mean, wouldn't you want to be informed out of all your options? Make a commotion if you would like to be informed. Wow, my computer's freezing with the commotions.
It was freezing.
So this is Jenna. She has 6 years in accounting experience. She's trusted to handle 8-figure accounts every single day. She's worked for bigger companies. She has great knowledge in depth about smaller and growing companies. She is definitely the overqualified accountant that you really want to be able to talk to, get advice from, any question you have. She's seriously an expert on it. And that's why I married her. So this is, did it update? There we go. Yeah, she's my wife. I am an entrepreneur. She is an accountant. It works great. She manages books for companies with like 50 plus employees, different locations, all sorts of stuff. So, and I was always a business person, and I thought there should be a better way for her to inspire people or outside, maybe Idaho, etc. But we want to help growing businesses be organized and find financial success. It's pretty simple. So I exited a business semi-successfully. I trained with Robbie Law, who's a speaker coach, which didn't take, obviously, but he worked for Robert Kiyosaki and Ryan Pineda. He just did a talk at his event, which was really fun to go to. But yeah, so I'm I'm great at networking. I have what I would call a sleeper network, like you wouldn't suspect, and I wouldn't suspect, but when you get into it, I'm kind of well connected. I mean, I know I've met Ryan Pineda, I guess. That makes me feel famous. It got to my head. Um, I've had success in business organization and businesses too, as well. If you are here today, then you're on the right path. It is business to grow, and everyone else who isn't here, anyone who didn't show up, just doesn't take their business seriously. They're not going to do everything it takes to win. They're losers. They started a business to make money, not to reach goals, not to achieve, a certain level of financial success or automation or anything like that. It's not going to happen. But for you guys, it's at least a possibility. So this is how I lost out on $85,000. I started this business. Oops, spoiler, I sold it. So I started this business, just a little hot chocolate food trailer, which was really fun and cute. And we were doing pretty good. We were profitable. I think we had even, but this is when I was dating my wife. So I couldn't really ask her to do my accounting. So I just checked Square. I saw that I had enough for a new counter. I'd buy a new counter. Then I'd be like, frick, we don't have enough for hot chocolate, stuff like that. But we continued on for about a year. And then I posted it for sale. And the very week I got about 5 offers. A lot of them just wanted the trailer. But that same week I was able to close and sell it for $15,000. That was my first sign that I probably messed up. It sold so quickly. It probably was worth a lot more. The next sign was this. On Facebook Marketplace, there was this snow cone place for sale, Daisy's, in front of Smith's, if you're in Logan. It was listed for $200,000. And I'm like, there's no way. I checked back in a week and it was sold. So just as fast as mine. The difference, of course, in business valuation, considering they're virtually the same businesses, if you're just to look at the assets, is that they could report their income and I couldn't. So that was sold for $200,000. I estimate if I had kept track of mine, I was probably making $20,000 a year net profit, which would value it at about $100,000. I didn't keep track. I didn't know. I just wanted some quick cash. I just sold basically the trailer and the Instagram for $15,000. Could have been $100,000. So there goes $85,000, which I'm not bitter about it, but it's not fun when I put it on paper like that. But still, I had fun doing it. That's for sure. The main thing is I didn't know what was going on under the hood of my business. I would just or was it Square? It was some tell me if this sounds relate to this. The first time you open the hood of a car, right? You're probably all these parts and you go, I will never know what all that means. This is the most confusing thing I've ever looked at, right? That was me because I thought I knew how cars worked when I was a kid, and I'd open the hood and be like, what? What am I looking at? But then as you get older, you understand where, this is where you check the oil, this is the battery. You understand the essential parts that make it run, which is essentially, just like in business, the baseline of financial knowledge that you should have. This makes this grow, this makes this work, better. Understanding the mechanics of your business. That's what we're going to be doing. Can't overcomplicate it. So tell me if you've suffered from any of these. I'm going to move that over a little. Have you ever been unable to pay bills because of debt or unable to pay bills or employees using too much debt, not knowing if you can invest in anything? Kinds of one specific problem. So we're going to run it through accounting Google Translate. And in accounting terms, it's cash flow management issues. This is what I was talking about earlier. So cash flow is king. Cash isn't king. Cash flow is king. Cash is the most important thing in making sure a business doesn't go under. it's probably the most important thing in business. I guess it just depends on how you look at it. According to score.org, 82% of businesses that fail do so because of poor cash flow management. This is probably the easiest way to ensure that your business doesn't go under.
Did you switch slides?
Oh, did I did, yeah. Did it not switch?
Oh, it's catching up. I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it working?
Yeah.
Cash flow is not simply earning more money, spending less money, checking your bank, making sure you have a positive amount before you buy anything. That's not good cash flow. Raising money. If you can beg a lot of people for money like this guy did, then that doesn't mean you're good at cash flow. Not to hate on Bernie Sanders. If any of you voted for a fun guy who can complete sentences. All right, so cash flow, you're gonna have a whole new knowledge about cash flow. Okay, so in fact, let me get into it. This is like if you went to a meeting with like a CPA or someone who knows a lot about financing and busted out some of this knowledge, they would be mind blown. They might even be like, I didn't know that. So the first thing about a cash flow statement, if done right, it will reflect your business's vision. So when you open your books and look at cash flow, you'll be able, an accountant, someone who knows their stuff, would be able to say, oh, is this what your goals were? If it's not, then you're doing something wrong, right? If it is, then you're on the right track. It's pretty straightforward. You don't need to know how to do a cash flow statement today. There's a lot of different ways to develop a statement, but understanding what goes into it is what really matters. That being said, a cash flow statement is like a report card. If you know what goes into the report card, you know how to improve your grades. That's pretty much it. So that's the cash flow statement, which tells you how to do cash flow. And then once you have an understanding of that, you know what control in your business looks like. You know what levers to pull, what things to change and adjust to improve. I do need to clarify something because it gets a little confusing. I have these three: cash flow statement, and cash flow management. I've already mentioned all three. Cash flow is just the general subject. The cash flow statement is the report card. This is generally at the end of a term, like the end of the year. For most businesses, sometimes it's the end of the month if they're like really active with their cash flow, or they just want a really good pulse on everything. And then the cash flow management is the method. It's a little more ambiguous, but it's more about what you do to make the report card turn out good. So, well, that's gonna seem simple at first. It might ramp up, so stay with me. But a cash flow statement is like a cashew farm. Okay. There's a reason it's cashews, I promise. Break it down. It's collected in tanks, which are banks, different bank accounts. You can measure the water in the banks with a tank meter, which is like a balance sheet in accounting. And then cashews are cash use, which is plants taking water, right? That's why cashews is cash use. So you need to see how much specific plants use as far as water goes, as well as sections of the garden and how much water is used in general, all that stuff. It's all measured. So, and by the way, if you're trying to pull from this how to do your own cash flow statement, I guess I said it already. You don't need to know how to do it, but this will help you, let's say, know how to read it, right? This is give you an understanding of what's going to be on the report card so that you know what changes to make, right? So very basically, revenue goes in, bank accounts fill up, and then the plants, the cashews, take the cash. It's basically how business works, right? It sounds really simple, but there's like 10 different ways to look at it in accounting, and this seems to be one of the most important ones. There's 5 things that you measure specifically. You put numbers to these. So it's going to be revenue, which is rain coming in, the bank balances, or the level of the water in the different banks. And there's a reason there's 3 tanks, but you'll see in a minute. All the cash out, you're going to measure everything that comes out of the tanks. And then specific cash out, you're going to see different sections and areas, what's using more water, etc. Do you have something, Jenna? Oh, okay.
No, you're doing good.
Oh, thanks. Quiz for you guys. Let me see if there's anyone on these chats. All right, I got a I got a copyright warning on Facebook. That's great. For what, bro? I made all of this. What are you talking about? We're gonna do a quiz. Jenna, do you want to help me with this?
Sure.
Okay, this might be hard for you.
Okay.
What is this first part right here? Wait, where am I?
Sorry, you're not on the screen.
Dang it. Boom. Okay, what comes in the top?
Revenue.
What do the tanks represent?
Your bank accounts.
What does the water level represent?
How much money is in it?
What does a tank meter represent?
Oh.
That's different.
Your balance sheet. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. What are the plants?
The plants are basically your expenses, what you use your cash for.
Perfect. You got a perfect score. Now you understand cash flow.
I hope so.
Do you see how this could my question, viewers, do you see how this could be important in your business? Hopefully it gives you new confidence and knowledge. If you're wondering about your own cash flow health right now, I got good news for you, because you're probably comparing this to your own business, right? I have a cash flow health check, so you can see if your cash flow currently is in good shape. It's like a really simple quiz, and it'll just tell you based on your answers if you need to do something about your cash flow, if maybe it's better than you think. So I'm going to be giving that to you guys at the end. So just to review, I told you I was going to give you a basic knowledge of how to be in that 18% in the green. Hopefully we covered that. The next thing I'm going to explain, I'm going to give you some confidence in some functional knowledge to impress people and potentially invest in the future and to know how to grow your business. So that's coming up. And then I'm going to tell you this is a cash flow statement. It probably looks exactly like a cashew farm to you at this point, because you're probably super advanced after my analogy. There's 3 sections. That's why there was 3 tanks. Remember that? And then there's totals at the bottom. So we're going to hit each of these. This is what goes into making a cash flow statement. And if you want to pull from this to be able to do it yourself, these notes will be available. I will give these to you. If you don't, then don't worry about it. But we're going to discuss options at the end. You might not need to know how to make a statement, but you should probably know how to read one and what goes into it if you own a business, right? Obviously. The first thing is operating. So operating specifically is all revenue generating activities of the business, which includes revenue and expenses related to operations such as supplies, wages, utilities. Can it be negative? Technically, yes, but it probably shouldn't be in most cases. Cash in minus cash out equals net operating cash. Yeah, if you're in the negative, you're doing something wrong, unless you, I don't know, have a plan. But operating, pretty straightforward. Then the other part is going to be investing. So this is going to be acquiring or disposing. That's it. When you buy them and when you sell them. Pretty straightforward. Something people need to know is long-term assets are stocks that are kept for more than a year, land, cars, real estate, etc. Not long-term assets is anything you flip. Stocks you keep less than a year, houses that you buy and flip in a few months, cars, wholesaling houses. You definitely can't count those as assets. You probably wouldn't want to, honestly. Assets bought minus assets sold equal net investing inflow or outflow. Pretty simple there. Then there's financing activities. And you can probably see where this is going. It's capital, raising capital and paying it back. So if you get a new loan, that's going to be an inflow of capital. If someone invests, inflow. If the owner invests in the business, inflow. If you pay yourself a dividend for what you own, that's outflow. If you pay yourself a wage, it is not an outflow. If you repay a loan, including principal and interest, so if you got a $10,000 loan and you pay $4,000, the outflow is $4,000, right? All the cash in minus all the cash out is net cash from financing activities, and that's financing. And then you're going to get the totals now for the end of the term, and you're going to see differences. In this guy's case, cash at the beginning of the year, $118,000. Cash at the end of the year, $400,000. So it looks like he was doing pretty good. Cash inflow, $297,000. Good job, man. Here's the explanation. To tell you any of this, you can go back and look at the notes, but here's how you do the math for it, which is kind of self-explanatory, but there you go. This is going to be, this little section is the most broad, general, quick snapshot of a business's health. If you can look at someone's cash flow statement, look at this, the totals down here, the beginning and end, and cash inflow or outflow, you can instantly know if a business is doing well or not. With that said, you can now go ask people for cash flows and invest in businesses. Just kidding, don't. We had a disclaimer. So what I said earlier, a cash flow statement should reflect your business vision. Remember that? So just looking at this, Jenna, you can answer this if you want. What are their business goals? Let me get you a mic.
Sorry, I'm just reviewing it. I would say right now their main business goals would be just the operating activities. You can see that there's a lot more activity in that. They're not really worried about investing or making sure that they have investments going on. As for their financing and paying proceeds from business loan. Payments to current debt. It looks like they're doing pretty well. They have a loan, but they are paying it back pretty steadily. So it looks like they're trying to control their debt and control their costs mainly. It looks like they don't have very many costs for their accounts payable. And they're doing pretty good on their accounts receivable. So I think they're just trying to maintain a steady, keep their costs low, and making sure that they are, depreciation. Sorry, my eyes. Yeah, just making sure that their costs are staying low is probably one of their biggest goals right now. And paying off that debt, it looks like they paid quite a bit off of it already. So it looks like they're just trying to keep in the positive. Obviously, I think most people do, but that's what I would say their goals are right now, is just keep cutting costs.
So what if it were different? What if the cash flows from investing activities was a ton and net income wasn't as much? And then financing, what if financing was negative? What would that tell you?
Sorry, you asked 3 questions. Can you go for the first one first?
I guess I'm just making a new cash flow statement from scratch.
Okay.
Operating's investing's up a lot. Financing is negative a lot.
I'd say right now, if it was investing, if they were investing a lot of money, instead of getting a lot of money from their operating, it would seem like they needed to switch up their revenue processes, see how much they're actually, I guess it depends on the business. So if it was inventory, then just checking and maintaining their COGS, right? They're not doing very well in their operating, so they're trying to make up for it in their investments. And then cash for financing, if it was negative, then they're paying themselves way too much. They don't really care about the business. It's struggling. It is a dying little baby business if any of these are negative at the beginning. I would say specifically operating, if it was negative, it's struggling. And same with financing. If you have more dividends that you're paying out than what you're receiving, then you have a dying business and you need to change some things up.
That's pretty insightful. I feel like I know more just from talking, from me talking. That's a cash flow statement. If this is still confusing, or if you're like, I'm going to forget this as soon as this is over, don't worry. I made a cash flow cheat sheet for this with Jenna. So like, if someone hands you a cash flow statement, or if you're thinking about making your own, you open this thing, it's going to have an example. It's going to tell you what the directions mean, definitions. It's all in there. It's not the most elaborate thing, but like if you open this, it'll be a quick reference for you to know how to read a cash flow statement. So I just want to make sure I'm on track with what I promised. I said that we're going to see how cash flow works, how to stay in that 18%, how to read a cash flow statement and be able to impress people with your knowledge, potentially invest in businesses based on what you read in cash flow. Do you feel like we've covered that? I feel like hopefully at this point you're pretty confident to be able to do that. The next thing you're probably wondering, because I said you don't need to know how to make a cash flow statement, is what do I do for cash flow? How do I manage it better? There's different options for you. So now that you know about it, you're going to be much better prepared for these options. So there's 3 major options you can do. You can do it yourself. You can hire someone in-house, or hire a CPA, or you can outsource it. The third one is outsourcing it. So first we need to decide what the best possible option is. So we're just going to use some logic here. Stick with me. Here's these questions. I'm not even going to read these. We're just going to see if, let's see, here it is, the features. So each of these is going to correlate with the feature we're probably looking for. So you'd probably agree that you want something cash flow presented to you quickly. You need on-call advice about cash flow, not just surrounding a cash flow statement. It needs to be easy to understand. It should be tailored to your business, right? Because if it represents your business goals, what's the point if the accountant person putting it together doesn't know about your business, right? If you're showing it to people, you do want it presentable. If you're looking for investors, if you're transparent and you show it to your employees, if you show it to any of your upper management, your friends, you want it to look good, right? You probably don't want to pay extra for it. A cash flow statement sounds really important. It's probably worth paying extra for, but it'd be better if you didn't have to, right? You probably want to start this sooner than later. If you don't know anything about your cash flow right now, it's kind of a scary place to be in. You want to get on top of it as soon as possible. You want a short learning curve, or implementation curve if you're not the one learning it. Hiring sucks. So if you could do it without hiring, that'd be great, right? So let's look at it's the do-it-yourself, hire someone or hire a CPA, and outsource. So we're gonna, first of all, the people who aren't here today either have no idea about this, or they're probably gonna start with do it myself, try to figure it out. Maybe they have money, few people, and they're like, let's just hire someone to do it all for us. They're still not going to understand. They have to make business decisions every single day that affect their cash flow. And then outsource. We'll talk about how these pan out. But I'm just saying that if you're here listening to this, you're already on the right track to making the right choice, because just knowing about cash flow means that no matter what happens next, you'll be in a good position. Like, you're in good shape. If you do it yourself, it's not going to be fast. The only things it'll be tailored to your business, because it's you, of course. It'll be included in whatever system you do. Now, that's not guaranteed, because if you use QuickBooks, I think it costs more for a cash flow statement, or same with a lot of softwares. But, you're not like paying extra for a person or anything, so it's not much more. Depends, I guess. You don't have to hire anyone. That's always a benefit. This guy is stressed, obviously. It's not easy to do it yourself. There's quite a bit to learn to be able to put together a statement by yourself, let alone figure out how you're actually managing your cash flow. If you have someone to consult with, that's probably going to be better. That's the on-call advice. That being said, hiring someone, either someone in-house or a CPA, it's going to be much faster. You're going to have knowledge of your cash flow sooner. Professional on-call advice, tailored to your business, presentable format, understandable, included in accounting systems. They shouldn't charge you more for a cash flow statement, but if it's someone you hired in-house, they're going to take extra hours to do it, so then it might cost more. It's not a short learning curve, because there's sort of an onboarding period where they have to learn everything about you if it's a CPA. If it's in-house, it's especially long, because then they need to pretty much be trained on everything in your business and be able to step into your shoes. And you do have to hire someone, which, yeah, hiring is not fun. Outsourcing clearly is probably going to be your best option. Now, what do I mean by outsourcing? Outsourcing is handing it over to a company that has systems that can handle everything, personalized to your business, can still cater to you to be able to explain, hey, this is what this means, or hey, you told me that you want to have a better operating, but it looks like you took on a bunch of investors. Like, what is your goal here? It'd be an important conversation for sure. You don't have to hire anyone. It's kind of just a package deal. It's probably the simplest option for almost everyone. Those are all your options. So we talked about how to be in that 18%. You probably have a really good knowledge of cash flow at this point. Now you know what your options are and what the best one is. And I just want to hear you guys say it. If for most businesses, which one is the most likely the best option?
Outsourcing.
Yes.
No,
No, you are. I'm asking.
Oh, okay. Outsourcing is the easiest and fastest and most accurate, I would say, of all of them.
If you can't hear her, she said it's fastest, most accurate, easiest. I think I would agree. So I got good news. This is what we do. We are the outsourcing company. We are the one pay once, set it and forget it, but also you can get input back based on things you need to know. This is just cash flow. It's included in whatever accounting system you normally do. So all these benefits, that's just concerning cash flow. We don't just focus on cash flow. We're an entire accounting company, but the cash flow side of it, we got you covered. So that's what we offer. Just out there letting you know. So I'm trying to help you today. Hopefully you have a new level of knowledge about cash flow. Hopefully you feel smart right now. I'm going to give you some tools to help. So the cheat sheet, in case you need to read a cash flow statement, the health quiz to check your own cash flow. I'm going to give you these slides in case you want to go back. refresh your memory so it sticks in. So, and then I have an exclusive Facebook mastermind group. Specifically, I'm building this thing so that businesses who have done the webinar, it might be paid in the future, but right now it's free for people who have done this. They're going to be able to ask questions about accounting for their business and be answered. I'm going to make sure that, we stay on top of it pretty much. But essentially, if you think you're ever going to have an accounting question in your business, this is probably a mastermind group you want to be a part of. Just saying. And then you can have a call with Jenna. So it's going to be, if you have questions, if you just want to ask an accountant something, if you want to just see if you're doing things right, it's just a super chill meeting where she'll just help you out with any questions you have, and we'd like to get to know some of you guys. So these are all for you: cash flow cheat sheet, cash flow health quiz, presentation, the exclusive Facebook group that doesn't cost money yet, and a link to talk to Jenna. So if her calendar starts filling up, we might not be able to offer the link anymore. She doesn't have unlimited time, unfortunately. If any of those sound interesting, just email me, info@wentut.com, and say, I'd like all 5. I'll give you guys a minute to do that if you want to do that right now. I will reply to the emails, and then also I will send you an invite link to the next webinar. You saw probably this is one of 3. I'm doing a series of 3 that if you go to all 3, you're going to be unstoppable in your business finances. So as long as your business doesn't suck, let's just say you'll do well financially if you finish all 3. Hopefully this was valuable. I guess I have a few more slides, but I'm giving people a minute here. Yeah, just email me on your phone or something like that. I'm not going to spam you guys if you email me. This is just my work email. It's not even bespoke accounting. You might notice I haven't even set that up yet. So yeah, we're still a relatively new company. But we're in a good position to help people right now. So I have more free for you guys. So just make a commotion if you think this was valuable. Okay, we're going to do quick fire commotions. All right, make a commotion if you think the next webinar is going to be worth going to. Awesome, you would be right. We're going to talk about how to easily master. Well, I kind of want to leave it a surprise, and I'm also still working on it. But specifically, there's going to be some really helpful quick tips, like quick fire, quick tips on how to keep your business finances organized, automated, so that it's significantly simpler for you. That's just going to be part of it. Maybe I said what it is here. Let me just double check. No. Okay. I want you guys to think about, oh no, I do say what it is. All right, I'll tell you. If your business and personal are mixed, and now a lot of people have them separate, which I will give them credit for, but are they separate enough? And how do they interact with each other? If you have that set up right, then you can make sure that if your business goes under, you don't. If you're in a lot of, you can pay employees. Hopefully both of you can thrive together, but that's kind of the point of this. So if you can think of someone who hasn't separated their business and personal yet, or who gets overwhelmed by trying to do accounting, if their whole accounting's just messy, I just want you to think if there's anyone like that. Think about if you sent them this webinar based on how much value you've got this time, would they be grateful or upset? They'd probably be glad, right? Worst case, they just say, that's not for me, but you could be doing them a favor, getting reciprocity. So it's up to you. If you can think of anyone who might benefit from this webinar, send them to our link or our Facebook. If you haven't joined or looked at our Facebook yet, I would recommend it just so that we can continue to help you with things. If you found this valuable, it's probably there's going to be more value just like this. And the best way to do it is through sticking with us on the Facebook. And you can register on Bespoke Accounting for the next webinar. But we're going to send you an invite automatically. So, you don't have to worry about it. It'll be sent to your email. But I'll give you guys a minute to send this to someone or take a picture just so you remember. This is going to be the next webinar. Also, this slide is going to be in the notes. So if you want to go back, there it is. Let's open a question and answers. Jenna, are you on? I don't think anyone has joined, have they?
If there's any questions, there's nothing in the meet, but
let me literally check everything. One more over here. Yep, no one's asked questions. I got to promote this thing better or not do it on a Saturday. Yeah, you can still claim the freebies. Go ahead. Claim them. Yeah, normally we'd do a Q&A and Jenna would magically solve all your accounting problems, but I guess people are missing out. So sorry. But yeah, join the Facebook. I think I was supposed to change that. Yeah, I'll fix it. Thanks for coming. I hope to see anyone who happened to show up at the next one. Once I make it, I think I'm going to do this one again until I have at least 5 people show up, and then I'll proceed to the next one. I don't know. We'll see. In any case, thanks for coming, and we'll see you later.
That was good.
Hang this up.
I'm going to need more time for questions and answers if it's only going to be an hour long. Is that what you're trying to do, or are you trying to make it longer than